Hey, what's up everybody? Today we're going to review the Space Pepper Solar Flare. Now, I can't remember off the top of my head where I got the seeds from. I know somebody on the Pepper Lovers Google Plus community sent them to me. So I'll take a look at my seeds and see if I can find out who it was. So this pod is it's a really bright orange. It's a very cheerful looking pepper. I love that color. I've discovered over time that I would say this is probably my favorite color of any pepper. Very similar to the orange Brazilian Starfish peppers that I have in color. But I don't know what the origins of this particular pepper are. It seems to remind me a little bit of, you know, things like the Cayenne peppers and some of the, you know, the quintessential curved chili pepper. So anyway, it's got a firm body to it. It's got a fair-sized calyx around here, which I don't know if it means anything in particular. It was fairly easy to pop off the plant, and as you'll see in a minute, the plant is really producing very well. It's a sort of a medium-sized plant. It's bushed out a little bit, probably somewhere in the ballpark of 18 inches to 2 feet in diameter and height. So we're in about that ballpark. So it's a good pepper all around. Its production is good enough that I would say you could plant a couple of these and that would be sufficient for home use. But if you really love them, and we'll find out how they taste in a minute, then obviously you want to plant more. So here is the Space Pepper Solar Flare plant. You can see there's a nice bright orange one in there that we're going to pick for our taste test. But this is it's kind of a compact plant compared to a lot of my other ones. You can sort of see there's a rather large one back there. I can't remember what variety it is, but so it's kind of mid-sized. It's bushed out nicely. It's got small leaves, which I generally like, while the big leaves are kind of dramatic. Small leaves tend to be able to handle rough weather and heavy winds and things. So I tend to lean toward small leaves. Anyway, let's go ahead and pick that one. Something I'd like to point out is just how loaded with pods this plant is. It's absolutely loaded. So for that reason, I would definitely regrow it. Look at this one. It's super cool. It's like curled up, almost like a Turkish snake pepper. Let's see if I can get a better picture, better look at it here. Look at that, that is super cool. Curled up. Most of them have this sort of stereotypical chili pepper sort of appearance, similar to a lot of cayenne peppers, so I imagine it's probably related to cayenne. It's quite a bright orange color. The pod's kind of soft. It's not as firm. Actually, you know what? It's pretty similar in hardness to the other ones. So I guess it's nice. So I guess I would say it's a bit of a softer pod. I suspect that might mean it's got thin walls to it. But anyway, let's go inside and cut this open and have a taste. Okay, guys. Here we are with the Space Pepper Solar Flare. So as I said, it's a nice firm pod. It's got some little markings down it, but otherwise it's fairly smooth. It's not gnarly and bumpy like the various super hot peppers are. It's not as firm as something like like a jalapeno or Fresno pepper. It's a little softer than that, but I don't know. It's probably fine. Alright, here we go. Let's just get this cut open here. Alright. So there we have the inside. So, I'll just hold one. So, the placenta goes all the way down to the very end. That is a lot of placenta material. So, as most peppers contain most of their capsaicin down the placenta and the veining, I generally remove that, in part because I don't like the flavor. A lot of times it's kind of bitter, so usually I take that out. Anyway, let's have a smell here. It has a stereotypical pepper aroma, a little bit of fruitiness. It's not floral at all, and it doesn't really smell like a cayenne pepper. You know, cayenne peppers kind of have a fair bit of that heat smell, and this one's quite a bit fruitier. You know, I find that most orange peppers have more fruity of the aroma. I don't know if it's just me or if that's the way it goes. So we're going to see how it is here. If I go to take this out, we'll see how hard it is to remove the placenta material. And save the seeds for next year. A lot of the seeds I've got in this particular pod are a little bit blackened. Typically a blackened seed is not ideal. In fact, I would suggest that a lot of these ones that are very brown, as you can see down here, let's see if I can focus the camera a bit for you. A lot of those brown ones probably won't grow at all, so I usually don't keep them, or if I do, I never end up planting them. But not all of the seeds are like that. Some of them here are nice bright yellow, nice and ready for planting. So for the taste test, I'll probably just cut a piece of this. And because I've removed all this placenta material, chances are pretty good that it's not overly spicy. I've found that typically, even cayenne peppers, if you remove this, if you devein it, as I'm doing here, a little bit awkwardly because I have the camera, typically if you remove this, the overall heat is quite a bit lower. If I was going to be making powders out of this, I probably would leave the placenta material. So there you have it. Just take the last of these seeds out of here. So there you go. That is what we are going to taste test. Probably just a piece of it. I don't know. It depends on how hot it is and how tasty it is. If we really like it, we might find ourselves eating the whole thing. Okay, here I am with my lovely wife Rochelle. And we are going to go ahead and taste the Space Pepper Solar Flare. Would you like to have maybe a little smell first?
It's very peppery.
Peppery?
Yeah.
Do you find it either floral or fruity? I find it fruity, just so you know.
I think it's floral.
You think so?
Yeah.
Interesting. I find it smells very similar to the Brazilian Starfish. But anyway.
I still think kind of floral, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
We'll see. Maybe
So
I'm wrong.
let's just do a small piece. I'm going to cut right in the middle of that pepper. I'm going to cut a little, just a small piece for each of us. And then, if we really like it, we can go for a larger piece. All right.
Ooh.
Instant spice. Right across the tongue. It's fruity. It actually has... It's got a lot of heat.
That's got a lot of heat.
And that is definitely in the cayenne, maybe a little bit beyond cayenne range. Not quite habanero level. Definitely, obviously, above jalapeno. It's got kind of almost like if you were to take something a little bit fruity with a bit of like an onion flavor. You put those together, at least that's what I get out of it. And then a flood of heat across the tongue. What I will say is it's definitely different from everything else we've tasted.
I don't know. It tastes very much, to me, like a bell pepper, but really spicy.
Really?
Yeah, that's what it tastes like.
Interesting. Maybe have another taste.
Okay. It's very spicy. I'm going to try to chew it on this side, because this side is spicy.
So I didn't find it quite that spicy.
There's definitely some sweetness to it, but I wouldn't say it's just...
It's not the sweetest. Yeah, like it's not as fruity as the starfish peppers or the Fresno peppers. Those are our favorites. Or the Fresnos, or even the ripened Winks Yellow Hot. So it's not the fruitiest pepper, but it's not.
It's tasty.
It is tasty. So cayenne peppers have, the quintessential hot pepper flavor to them, if you know what I mean. These don't really have that. They're as spicy as a cayenne pepper, I would say, but it's a little different flavor.
It's all across the tongue, the spiciness. And it's got like a good amount of heat. And it's tasty, so yeah, like for cooking or...
I have no burning on the roof of my mouth. How about you?
I have none.
And
it's
none...
all on my tongue,
Yep.
but that's like a really good heat, I think.
And I have none on my lips either.
Nope, I don't have any on my lips.
I'm having a taste.
Like done.
I'm having a taste. So what I like about this pepper is... do you want to taste?
Sure.
What I like about this pepper is that it produces really, really well. And it's, what is it today? Today's August 22nd. So I planted these on March 9th. So they're not an early pepper, but they're not late either. Like I've got a lot of peppers out there that really haven't ripened. In fact, some of them haven't even barely produced any pods. So this thing is loaded with pods, and this one is obviously ripe. So that's a big win for this pepper. I'm still getting that very subtle, almost like an onion flavor. It's like a little bit fruity, a little bit oniony. That bite that I just had was a lot spicier than the previous. I think I cut it off of the top part of the pepper where there was a bit more placenta. So, as I was talking about when I was deveining it, most of the heat is in the placenta. And this piece of the pepper, I don't know if you can see it in the video, has just a fragment of the placenta down the side. So I think that's why this is a little bit spicier. So now, with that last bite that I had, I've got some heat going down my throat.
Yeah, I chewed mine up, and then I swallowed it while it's still all spicy. And the heat definitely went down my throat. But it didn't go like all the way down, like some spicy peppers do.
This is
it's a good heat.
It's a good heat. This would make really good powders.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were to mix this with some other powders, because it gives you that instant blast of heat, like right now, and it tapers off quickly.
Yeah, it doesn't play around. It gets right to business.
Yep.
Spice, but it's not like unbearable. It's a good heat.
Yeah, it gives you a quick blast, and then it sort of tapers off. So you could mix this, if you use, let's say, Scotch bonnet, which takes a second for the heat to hit you, but it doesn't delay for a long time.
I like this better. I don't like the delayed heat. I
Well,
like to know exactly what I'm dealing with. Give me the worst, and then the tapers off right away.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's definitely true. So you could, if maybe you've got somebody that likes spicy food but can't handle a whole lot of it, so this would be a pepper you could use in that, because it'll give them some heat and it'll taper off and they can recover from it without too much trouble. But if you were to make powders to try to get an all-around spice, you could mix this with Scotch bonnet to give you that sort of middle, and so it'll give you a blast, and then it'll rise, and then if you want it to taper off right away, just leave it at that. Or if you want to have some additional lingering heat, you could add something like the Bulgarian carrot peppers, which was torture because you didn't get any heat barely at all to start with, and then whammo, for 20 minutes afterwards, it's melted on fire.
Yeah, I don't like that kind of heat.
No, but for a powder, that might be good.
It might be good. That would be good in salsa, though, because the problem I have with the last salsa you made is that it was the building heat.
Yeah.
And so I would eat it and eat it and eat it. It's so yummy.
Yeah.
And it's cold when it's salsa, from the fridge.
Yeah.
So you can handle it, but after a while, it's building so much that I have to stop eating it.
Yeah.
I want to keep eating it, but it's too spicy, and I have to stop.
Right.
Whereas this would be perfect for that.
This would be good for salsa. Yeah, I agree 100%. And probably lots of other dishes too. Anything where you want a quick blast of heat that doesn't linger too much. And like I said, they are hotter than, I would say they're hotter than a cayenne pepper. Not a whole lot. Because I believe a cayenne, off the top of my head, is somewhere around the 100,000 range. So I would rate this based on the small pieces we were having, probably closer to the 150,000 range. So quite a bit hotter, but not unbearable. You know, with Scotch bonnets, they can be between 100 and like 300,000, or I guess some of them even get hotter than that. So yeah, it's not Scotch bonnet or habanero level, but it's still a warm pepper. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that.